Hi, welcome. If you clicked on this video, I am assuming that it's because something in the title caught your eye, which most likely means that you feel like you walk through the world thinking that you're too much. And that could be in a variety of different capacities. You have too many opinions. You have too many thoughts. Your emotions are too big. You are too loud. The fullness of who you are is more than what other people can handle. And if you are in that boat, welcome. I am in that boat with you. That is why I'm creating this video today. And my hope is to encourage myself, to encourage you to step into more of who we are instead of continue to repress or hold back who we are. Obviously, that is easier said than done. If we knew how to just overcome that hurdle for ourselves or to stop feeling like we're too much, to embrace fully who we are, this video wouldn't exist. I wouldn't be talking about it. You wouldn't be compelled to watch it. So I am not expecting to change my entire perspective or way of showing up in the world over the course of the next 15 minutes. I'm not expecting to change that for you either, but what I am hoping is to open up some conversation and connection and community between us to foster a sense of belonging, in the sense that we are not alone. We are not the only ones who are going through this experience, that we can champion and cheer each other on in the process. And in that, and this will be a year-long journey, I think, for me in my own life, and then also that will trickle into this channel, of stepping deeper into who I am and being more of me, not less of me. What does that look like in my personal life? What does that look like in my work? And then sharing that process with you over this channel. This is a little bit of a change of pace and change in content for this channel. If you've been following along with me for a little while, then you might be like, where's this coming from? Why are we talking about this? If you're brand new, then you might be like, great, this is what this channel is about. And then you'll be surprised if you go back and you look at some of my other videos and feel like that doesn't necessarily line up with exactly what I'm talking about today. So as we get deeper into that today, who am I talking to? I am obviously talking to you, but that is with the common factor in mind of you feel like you are too intense for the world. You feel like you need to tone down who you are, hold back, pull back in order for other people to be comfortable, to feel okay. And so if that resonates with you, if you feel like that's where you're at in life, know that that's where I feel like I'm at in life as well. And I'm here to see more for myself. I'm here to cheer on more for you as well. All right, so we've established a little bit who you are and why you might be here today. Who am I? And why am I here today? My name is Catherine Hubert. There's a lot of different things that I could probably say and give about myself, but the intention is not for this video to be my autobiography. So I'm going to give you information about myself that I think is pertinent to the content that we are talking about today. And as we continue to get to know each other over the coming weeks and months, more and more will unfold. And I hope that I get to learn more about you as well. I am 36 years old. I live in Greensboro, North Carolina. I am a small business owner. I own a restaurant called Chez, Genèse, which is a French-inspired restaurant. And we do breakfast and lunch. We have an integrated hiring model, which means that we employ people with and without disabilities, but that makes up about a 50-50 split on our team. I am passionate about food. I am passionate about bringing people together around the table, about breaking down barriers, and about belonging and people being welcomed and accepted. And that's because I crave and desire those things for myself, and I want to provide them also for other people in my quest for finding those things for myself. I was born in California. My family moved to North Carolina when I was 7. I am the oldest daughter. I have 3 younger sisters. I have felt responsible as, I think that's an oldest child thing. I have the responsibility gene runs really deep in me. I am an Enneagram 3, if you know what that is. I am high achieving. I'm deeply sensitive. I'm pretty goofy and silly, but don't usually let those things out for the general public. But somehow, sometimes that like squeaks out on YouTube because I'm in the privacy of my home when I'm filming this, and it's easy to forget that like, oh, this is actually going on the internet where anybody can see it. I love to be active. I love for my brain to be stimulated. I love to be learning. And I'm going to wrap it up there because now I think I'm just going to start getting rambly if I keep going. But all in all, belonging has been a consistent theme for me. I have struggled with feeling like I belong. I have spent a lot of my life observing, taking in information, analyzing, performing, and a goal of mine, especially in the past few years, is to be more present with myself, to be more embodied, to be. That's the biggest part of it. To enjoy existence and not always be striving towards something, and to really step deeper into an appreciation and understanding of who I am. Part of that work started several years ago. I actually made a list of like, who did I think I was going to be? Who did other people expect me to be? Am I these things? What am I? Who am I? And then learning to actually like and love what was left. And so that has been a continuous process and something that I think the place that I'm at in my life right now is recognizing the level of which restraint and repression have played a role in my life through some of my key developmental years, and getting to a place of recognizing I don't want to continue holding myself back. I want to step into more freedom. I want to unlock and unleash a lot of what I feel and think on the inside, and bring more of that into the world, to bring more of that into my work, to be a stronger leader, to take my work in my business to new levels and growth, to get to enjoy and experience that in a deeper way, and to see vibrancy flood through my life in general. And so that's my own personal work, and a lot of that times I think that stays personal to me and to the things that I'm thinking about and processing, and then to kind of people who are close in my sphere. And if you've been following this channel for a while, you may have picked up on some of those themes, but the reason that I'm shifting some of our content this year is really to step more into that connective piece. Finding my audience online has been challenging because if I look at it from more of a logistical or mechanical perspective, it's like, well, who else out there in the world is trying to start a restaurant as a 30-year-old woman in a somewhat small city with the goal of changing the way our world hires and views people with disabilities? There don't seem to be many other people out there who are trying to do that. And so if I'm speaking to an audience of like, hey, this is the work that I'm doing. Hey, this is the way that it runs. Hey, these are ways that we can evaluate and think around our bias around disability. And all of those things are still important, and they are part of the work that I'm doing. But I think in many ways it's been harder for people to connect to that messaging specifically. And so what I'm doing is like, yes, that's the output. That's some of the outcome of what's going on down here at this foundational level. But that's the level that I think other people can identify. Do you feel like you're too much? Do you feel like you don't belong? Do you feel like you have more to give and to gain, and you just don't know how to do it? Do you feel like an outsider? Do you feel lost inside of your own brain sometimes? Like there's so much of who I am as a person underneath the surface of what I do and how I show up in the world that I think can bring us together. And that's the piece that I'm going to be focused on more this year. So you'll still hear, and that'll still sometimes translate into what I'm doing at work, the bias that I'm breaking down around disability, things that I'm thinking about, etc. But my hope is to use this channel more as a way to connect on a human level this year. And then you can take that and do that and apply that however serves you best in your life. So what am I learning right now? I am learning to shift focus And when I say I am learning, I'm saying this is a concept that was revealed to me this morning that I'm going to be thinking on and applying in my life over the next couple of weeks. So this is not like, oh, I'm learning. This has been a week long. No, this is like something that I've had the lead up to this for several weeks. This morning was kind of a light bulb moment. I'm going to take that light bulb and I'm going to run with it. So the specific light bulb was revealed in therapy this morning of shifting the focus back to myself. And what I mean when I say that is not becoming selfish or self-centered necessarily, but in dynamics, especially relationship and work dynamics, my focus and perspective tends to be on what is someone else needing right now? What are they feeling? What are they doing with their power and responsibility? How do I engage with that? And how does my engagement in that impact or affect the other person and how they're feeling? What I want to start doing is instead in those moments being able to stop and say, how is this impacting me? What am I feeling? Where is my power? What am I doing with it? I'm still naturally going to be aware of the other person because I don't think I can help that right now. But shifting some of that awareness and that focus back to myself of in this moment, what's happening with me and how am I taking care of or handling that? Let's take a little brain break and a little break from looking at my face and instead focus on some of the things that have been happening in my life and work this week. It snowed here in Greensboro, which has been really fun. It's been a couple of years since we have had a good snow. Everything tends to get shut down, but there's also a lot of magic and play in the air when that happens. Snowmen being built, snowball fights happening. So took a little bit of time this weekend to just enjoy the beauty of the snow, to enjoy the slower pace that ushered in, to freak out only slightly about how that was going to impact business and what that was going to look like when it came time to pay bills the next week. But overall, used that as a welcome reprieve after really a busy and full holiday season. Welcome back. We've established that something that we have in common is feeling too big for our surroundings, feeling too big for our environment. And I don't believe that to be true on an intellectual level. However, I'm working still to get my heart and soul, the essence of who I am behind that. That's going to be a lot of continued internal work. But something that I think we can do practically to aid in that process and reinforcing that belief that in fact we are not too much, and the world and our communities and our relationships and our work would be better off if we showed up as fuller versions of ourselves instead of repressed versions of ourselves. The unique and beautiful and wonderful things about us, the things that actually make us us and set us apart, are oftentimes the things that we try to hold back. And that's stifling for us, but that also means that the people in our lives and the world around us is missing out on something that we have to offer that someone else doesn't. It's hard to jump over that hurdle. It's hard to let go of the pain, the fear, the insecurity that pulled us back in the first place. But a practical step that I think we can take is, what do I want to see more of for myself this year? I am one of those people who likes to set goals for the year. I find it really helpful. If that's not your thing, you don't have to do that. But what's something that I want to see more of for myself? And then what's one step that I can take to help me get there? It does not have to be a huge step. It can be something small. But I'm finding as I start to take that step, it reinforces the idea that it was okay. I did it. I survived. Either nothing happened or something good happened. I've yet to be where like, oh, that was really bad. And the positive reinforcement then starts to slowly teach me that this is the path I want to take for myself, the path of becoming more and not less. For me this year, one of the things that I am focusing on is wanting to be more connected both to myself and to other people. And so one of the steps, or two of the steps, I'll give you two of the steps that I'm taking in that direction is that I want to eat at least one meal a week with another person intentionally, like sitting down across the table and sharing a meal with someone. And then two, becoming a regular somewhere, either at another restaurant, at another coffee shop. I have a lot of regulars that come into my restaurant, and I see the benefit and the connection that that provides in their lives. And I'm like, I think that's something that I want to do this year, is actually become a regular somewhere else. Go somewhere where people know my name, they know my order, where I can actually be more known on just a human-to-human basis because of frequenting a place. As I've been talking about you, a regular practice that I want to weave into these videos each week is welcome to Insecurity Corner, the intersection of confidence and insecurity here. Because I'm developing content, because I'm putting it online, because I'm sharing things that I've learned and ways that I've grown, it can be very easy to curate that into what feels like I have it together. I'm doing this thing. Or maybe not. Maybe you're watching this and you're like, you do not have it together. That's funny that you think that. I don't want it to come across as I have it all together. I've learned the thing. I've done the thing. Here's my experience. Sit and bask and glow in the glow of my wisdom. Like that's not the intent. So welcome to Insecurity Corner, where I will share briefly each week about something that I'm feeling insecure about. Again, this is not a pity me, cheer me up, boost my mood, etc. Please don't do that. I don't need you to do that. It's more so in a, hey, I'm a real person who also has real feelings and who fixates and ruminates on little things in my life that I am sure nobody else is thinking on, but for some reason I've convinced myself that they are. And the thing that I have been stuck on today in particular is the way that my face looks. This is a regular insecurity for me, so you may hear me repeat this more than once. I do feel like my face somehow looks a little bit different to me every day. And some days I'm like, I feel good about it. And other days I'm like, what's happening? Why do I look the way that I look? And today was one of those days where I was just like, I was picking different things apart. I was feeling insecure about different elements of how I looked, which has made filming a little bit harder today. I filmed a whole series of videos earlier that I ended up disregarding altogether because I just didn't like the way that I looked in them. I also didn't like what I had to say. So anyways, that's my insecurity for today. Bringing it all home, wrapping us up here. Thank you for sticking along for the ride, for the journey. Welcome to a new year of videos and content with me. I'm excited to explore creativity. I'm excited to connect with you. I'm excited to learn and grow and focus on new and different things together, and ultimately on building community around shared ideas, around shared experiences. I want this to be a place to process, to connect, to be free to explore, and to view. I think I'm viewing this channel this year almost as a bank account for growth, that by putting in the investment of transparency and other people being able to connect to that, I think our strength starts to compound. And especially for women or for people who identify as female, that sense of bolstering and your ability to show up in the world and be yourself, my ability to show up in the world and be myself, I just see that start to really it's like the interest compounds and it grows, and what you put, the investment you put in initially and what someone else's investment is, it feeds and it grows off of each other. And I think we ultimately end up making each other stronger. And that is my hope for us, for me, for you, for this channel this year. Thanks for being here. I'm so excited to have you here. Videos will be coming out once or twice a month this year in order to actually focus on the content, the filming, the editing, etc. So I'll see you next time. Chez, Genèse teammates, I didn't forget you. Your keyword this week is Magnolia.